Dr. Lynn, Clemson University Board Trustee, Order of the Palmetto recipient, owner of one of the largest landscape and construction design companies in the country. This Darlington native is the son of sharecroppers and was one of 12 black students at Clemson University when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. His life, his legacy, his career, grown from the same soil that he's using now to plant seeds of hope for others. Where some set their tables in boardrooms, Dr. Lynn has fertilized a career where his seat at the table begins outside.
Dr. Lynn, it is a pleasure to be at this table with you today.
Thank you, Darcy. Thank you.
We just wrapped up the governor's prayer breakfast, and you were the keynote speaker today. When you reflect on the opportunities that have been afforded to you over the years, being the keynote speaker at the governor's prayer breakfast today, where does that rank?
Near the very top, because it gives me a chance. It gave me an opportunity to bring a word from the Lord to my community, and I was able to say some civic things, some spiritual things, but it just gave me an honor to bring a word from the Lord, and I felt like the Lord put all the words there.
When you reflect on your life and think about the things that you're most proud of, what would you say is your number one accomplishment?
Being a business person and being able to contribute to the economic growth of my community, but mostly to be able to give jobs to people. My business has allowed me to pay my civic rent. And civic rent means a lot of the contracts like this building, the hotels, the streetscapes, is like I got paid by taxpayers' money. So it's kind of like I'm feeding from the public trough. If I feed for the public trough, I need to put something back in it. And that's paying my civic rent.
You're a modest man. ENVIRO Ag is not a small business. When you think about your family history and coming from a family of sharecroppers, to now being one of the most successful black men in business, not in South Carolina, but in the nation.
Yeah, we made the Black Enterprise Top 100. So but again, it's a shoot for somebody. If he can do it, I can do it.
How do you go from that? How do you go from sharecropping to where you are today?
Education was the key, and my father used to say, and his father before him, is that education is the tide that lifts all boats.
Take me from being one of 12 black students at Clemson University to now serving more than 30 years on the board of directors.
So I bring diversity of thought and diversity of race and diversity of trade to the board, and I'm generally not shy about what if I have an opinion about it, I'm generally not shy about that, and that served me well.
What would Adrian, Brian, and Crystal say about their daddy?
Daddy has a lot of bad dad jokes, and I've been threatening to retire since 10 or 12 years ago, and I see them following my model in some of the things they do, but particularly the two daughters, they'll just say, "Dad, you're failing at retirement. You had I'm enjoying retirement, and the difference between me and you is you working because you got to. I'm working because I want to."
So since you're failing at retirement, is there another table you'd like to see yourself seated at?
No, my goal now is to bring others to the table, to share the experience, and again, to be sure that I didn't mess it up for the guys behind me.
You're an inspiration to so many people.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who still inspires you?
I'm kind of one of the old guys now, and our political guys, younger and old, I have an affinity for politicians, James Clyburn, and even though Steve Benjamin, our former mayor, is a young guy, and that you're in a leadership role, and we the people need to support them. I've met every president since Bush, and so having access to the kings of our culture, and I know how the game's played, they're like, why don't you look at Darcy for that? You got a board seat, why don't you talk to her? So some of it's what you know, but a lot is who you know. And it takes nothing for my candle to light somebody else's candle. If I can lend you some credibility, if I can open a door for you, or if I can walk with you in some circumstance, then again, it's my big thing in life now at this point is pay my civic rent and finish well.
It seems like you have been offering a seat at the table for your entire career.
And that's part of don't mess it up for the guy behind you. And then from every board that I'm on, as I've graduated or aged out, it's my goal has been, I want somebody who looks like me to replace me. I want to be sure that when we pass the torch, we've given them a fair shot at winning the race. Your deeds will either sustain your reputation or devastate your reputation. I'm in the stage of life now that I want to finish well.
At the end of the day, when someone says Dr. Lewis Lynn, if they were to finish the sentence, what would you be pleased with the back end of that sentence saying?
Is a good guy.